Hey everybody, this is The Great Escape and welcome to another tutorial here on our redstone testing world. And we are in the world of Update Aquatic now, so we will be playing around with a lot of the Update Aquatic features like bubble columns and a lot of other things, which are different in the PS4 version than you might have seen in videos for Java and things like that. For instance, these don't all have to be source blocks. Once I put this block here, that goes down. And we get the bubbles. And I think the cool thing is that it turns all of those blocks into source blocks, which doesn't happen on the Java edition. Now, there are some changes to the PS4 edition that I'm not sure I like. I'm flying. Mainly XP is not kept in furnaces and things like that, but okay, anyway, that's not why we're here. All right, so what we're going to be building today is this kelp farm. Now, it's not going to be an experience farm like you might have seen on the Java editions or things like that, because as I said, the furnaces don't hold experience, but it will be super simple to build, and you can use it to get all of the dried kelp blocks that you might want, or if you want to eat kelp, I guess you could get your dried kelp that way. Now, this is an incredibly resource efficient build. It doesn't take a lot of resources. However, it does require silk touch because you will need the ice. Now, if you want to make a really expensive version, but that doesn't use ice, if you can't get your hands on silk touch, then you could replace all of these blocks here with iron expensive hoppers, and it would have the exact same effect. And so I'm going to show it to you this way, and then I'll also show you the iron version, because you might be able to get your hands on 85 iron faster than you get your hands on silk touch, depending on how you play the game. But what I'm going to do is show you how to build this, and let's get right to it. Alright, so the materials that you're going to need to build this are in this chest over here, and that's 17 doors. I did acacia, but you can do anything. 2 chests, 3 hoppers, and that's for the version that would require silk touch. 17 packed ice, but this will also work perfectly fine with regular ice if you don't have access to a packed ice biome. 34 kelp to get it started, 1 furnace. A infinite water source of some kind, and then iron bars, or this also works with a fence post or a gate, so you can do it in any way. Then you're going to need a bunch of building blocks, and I'm building out of iron just so that it's easy to count, but you can build out of anything. And 34 sand, which isn't actually necessary, but I like to have the kelp growing on sand, and then a bunch of glass if you want it to look like mine. You can also make this completely out of cobblestone and it won't make any difference. It won't look the same. This is completely up to you, but it might take a little bit more than this. These numbers here are not 100% except for the sand, but you'll need around this much, maybe an additional stack of each. But these up here are exactly what you're going to need. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, to start off, what we're going to do is build a 6 by 19 square. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then I'm just going to go ahead and close that off. Oops. Like so. Now, on this side here, this is going to be a solid line, and this one's going to be a solid line, and then everything in the middle is going to be sand. So this is your bottom layer done and ready to go. Now, next thing we need to do is build a kind of a catchment area for our water, and as you can see, like the entire inner area is flooded, and you don't actually have to build it up as high as I have here, and it might actually be a little better because I'm going to show you how this requires a little bit of maintenance as you go about it, but I'm going to build it up this high, and so you're going to go 1 block in, as you can see here, one block in, and we're going to build our glass wall here. Now on the back, we want to come up 2 and then go over like this. Do the same thing here. And then you can fill this part in with glass. And I'm going to leave this corner piece. And then this side is completely solid. Like so. And you're going to take that up to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks in the back. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and finish that out, and I'll be right back. So just a quick note really quickly. So the back wall is 7 high. The front wall is only 5 high. Or sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 5 high. And that's because the back wall needs to be a little bit taller because we've got this kind of overhang here. But the side walls can match up with the back wall like so. All right, now next we want to go ahead and put in our doors. So you swing around to the back side, and all along here, put a door on each of these blocks. And it's easier if you have them open, but these are going to hold back the water, and it's also going to let you have access to the farm so that you can actually harvest your things. All right, so that's that. Now our next step, if you want, is we can go ahead and flood the interior. So if you come here to these blocks and just go boom, boom, and then go across the whole back wall like this, and then across the whole, whoops, not like that, the whole front wall here like this. All right, so now that's completely flooded the interior, and you can, if you would like, go ahead and plant your kelp so that it can start growing, because it does take a little while for it to grow, and we're depending upon the kelp to grow to its max height before we harvest it, or a higher height before you harvest it. Now you can, and the reason the doors are here, you can plant like this, so you don't ever actually have to get into the water to plant, so that is also there. All right, so this is what our farm is looking like so far. All right, so our next step is to put in our packed ice. So that's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And again, that works with regular ice as well. It doesn't have to be packed ice. And we're going to put a bucket of water on each of these blocks back here, like this. And you'll notice it comes out 2 blocks, but it doesn't spill over the packed ice. And so now anything that falls in is going to shoot out and come across like that. So that's our system for getting our kelp together as we go. All right, next we need to build our channel for our water. So if you want to come here and build out 8 blocks, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then do the exact same thing on the other side. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you'll notice you have a hole in the middle, and then you just need to build up the sides. And I mean, you can save glass like by doing that. I like to take it all the way up to the top like so, just so it looks right. But any place you want to save or skimp on some of these materials, you're more than welcome to. All right. So there is our transportation system all put in place, and if I put a bucket of water there and a bucket of water here, there we go. You see that they don't spill over and they meet in the middle, so perfect. Now the next thing is our furnace array, which is super simple and goes right in the middle there, as you can see here, so that as our kelp comes in, it automatically goes into our system. So if you want to start from the bottom, you're going to build 1 block there, a chest, hopper, furnace, hopper. All right, and that is that complete system. And then go ahead and put a hopper facing into the front of or into the furnace like so, and then a chest on top of that. Now this chest you want to load up with whatever fuel source you want to use. So if you want to start out with coal, you can do that, but that'll, that's kind of the system as it goes. And then the last little piece is your fence post of whatever, or fence poster that you decided to do, and that goes like so. All right, so that is pretty much the completed system. So now anything that flows in is going to go into this area here and will be smelted automatically. Now, you're not going to be able to pull the experience out of the furnace, but that is where, that's just kind of the nature of it. Now, the reason these are here is so that if anything spawns up here, well, if anything spawns on that spot, everything drops to the bottom before it comes back up. And then there's no guarantee where it actually pops up. But anyway, so they'll shoot over here and they won't necessarily get stuck off. And you could make the top one a solid block like this, and then make this one just the fence post, but you need to be able to access that chest, and so that'll prevent that from happening. As you can see, that just went in and is now in the furnace. There we go. All right. So that is our completed system, and you'll notice that this one looks slightly different. I pulled the... I actually know how it looks different, but there you go. So that is our completed system. Now, the way that this works, if you can see back here, if I swing around, if I stand right here and I punch, I'm going to harvest all of that kelp. And some of it's going to drop down to the bottom, but it's all going to float back up to the top. So you can watch that happen here like this. And as you can see, it's all zooming into our central hopper system, and then immediately going into our furnace to be smelted. And as you can see, this one is half packed ice, half regular ice, and it works on either of them. It doesn't really matter which one you use, but that's that. Now, occasionally with this system, you are going to get some that get hung up on the doors here, but that's, I mean, pretty simple to go through and just pick up those little leftover pieces. And if you want to just go ahead and chuck them in, all you gotta do is throw them like that, and it's just a matter of picking up the ones that drop. So again, it's not, I mean, it's a manual farm because you are having to harvest things manually, so you're going to notice if anything gets stuck. So it is still lossless, but you just need to keep an eye on that as you go. But we're going to get all of our things there. Now, you could expand this out to have 2 furnaces, so that you can have more things smelting at the same time. And so let me just really quickly modify this so it's a 2 furnace array that will kind of double the number of hoppers that are required, but it would be a pretty efficient tool. So let me modify this and I'll be right back. Alright, so this is kind of the modified array, and I mean it does put things a little bit off center, but it will... Okay, well, that's fine. It does put a little thing off center, but it will still be effective. So still the central hopper here dropping into a chest now instead of directly into a furnace. Beneath that chest you have 2 hoppers, and then those go into our 2 furnaces. And then 2 hoppers down at the bottom coming out into the central chest. And then out the front you have 2 hoppers pulling from 1 chest, and that's where you put your fuel, and that will be evenly distributed among the 2 hoppers. Now you could expand this even further if you wanted to. You could turn it into 4 furnaces or whatever as you play around with it, but that's kind of the system as it goes. Now let me see if there's anything else that you need to know about it before you go. As you can see on this one, I've added some kind of like decorative corners and things. So if you'd prefer to have those corners look, structurally sound or just kind of decorated, you can put any old block on these corners here to give it some structure. I don't know why I chose the kelp blocks here, but if you want to do that, you can. The kelp blocks are actually pretty cool to build with, so this is a good farm for building materials as well. But that is the farm. Now, I did say I was going to show you how you could build this without the these pieces, so go ahead and we can break those out. As you can see, the water from the front does come to the back like that, but that's not really a problem. And then what we need to place is another hopper here, and then a hopper going, oops, and then a hopper going into that, like, well, the water like that, whoops, a hopper going into that like so, and then all across here like this, and then all across the other side like this. Now, if you did this system, you wouldn't need anything out the front here. You could take out all of this in the water channel and everything, and keep it pretty solid. But again, that is, I think, an additional 85 iron, maybe 90. I think maybe 90 iron. So this is much more expensive, but of course it doesn't require silk touch, which is also sometimes difficult to get, so I understand that. I got lucky on my Life Aquatic because I found a villager who traded a silk touch pickaxe, which was pretty awesome. But that's that. Now, as far as maintenance goes, occasionally you're going to run into a kelp, like this one. Oh, no, let's see. No. Occasionally you run into a kelp that stops growing at a certain height, and that's not always a problem if they stop like higher up, like up here. But sometimes they'll stop down at the bottom, and that's because the kelp have an age on them, and unfortunately we can't see that age on, you know, on the PS4 version like they can in the Java edition. But if you run into a kelp that's not growing, all you have to do is break it and then replant it, and that refreshes the age, so you have the opportunity to get a new age. Now, I am going to be working on a fully automatic kelp farm version, which is pretty similar to your typical sugarcane farm, but I'm still working out a few kinks, as you can see over here, so I'm still playing around with that. But that is kind of the farm as it exists for now, and I'll be building this on my Let's Play server, the Life Aquatic server, in just a couple days, probably, just in this week sometime. But thank you so much for joining me. If you like this video, please drop a like, maybe a subscription, and otherwise this has been The Great Escape, and I will see you next time.